Good afternoon, my friends, everybody who listens to me, all my followers. The Democrats, which is now the CPUSA, Communist Party of the United States of America, are continuing to push their agenda, which people refuse to accept. The majority, because we voted for a duly elected president, Donald Trump, but they want to push their agenda, and they're doing it little by little, the communist way, by force, like they've done in California, like they've done in New York, I think in Maryland, and I think in the state of Washington, if I'm not mistaken, and there's the other state which is above California. Right now, I forget the name of the state, but these people, they're doing what they're doing to destroy the United States. Right now, I was watching a news about the governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam, I think his name is, and he's pushing for the banning or control of guns. Okay, so now they love more the criminals and terrorists than the American citizens. They love illegals also more than us. You know, people that break the law, that are willing to go into your house, rob your property, blind. Those are the people who usually always the ones who illegally carry guns or knives to commit crimes. It's very rare that a person who has a legal license to carry a firearm. It's very rare that this the person is going to commit a crime, going to violate the law. And the Democrats want to defend them. They know they're losing. That Trump is winning, so they want to terrorize the people. They want to terrorize us. The people who follow the law, obey the law, we're the one who have to be afraid of them, of the criminals, of the terrorists, of the illegals. Why? Because the Democrats have gone against us. That's what's happening. Unfortunately, that's what's happening. And another thing is Bloomberg. You know, they demonstrate the Democrat Party has demonstrated that they are communists. They are 100% planning to impose the communist system here in the United States, which is going to be devastating and cost the lives of millions of people. They've had a bloody history of over 100 million people, not including Islam, which has been over 2,000 million plus. But the thing about the communists is they had a short span compared to Islam, because they started off, what, in 2007? No, I mean, excuse me, in 1917, with the overthrow of the Tsar. And I think in Spain, it was before that, it was practiced, and it caused the death of other people. Right there, right now, I'm not sure about that, but I read about something where in Spain, it was implanted, or people tried to, group of communist partisans tried to impose that in Spain, and there was a couple of deaths. So you know, with between a short span, they've caused the death of over 100 million people. I think I read in one article it amounted to over to 150 million. which I'm not sure about that one, but at least they say it's over 100 million, which I believe, and I know it can be true. And it's probably true, 150 million, because these people keep on murdering, and North Korea, you know, who knows the barbarity that's happening in these communist countries, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua. They've been constantly killing people. Just because they want their rights, they struggle for their rights, they have an opposition, which is wanting the respect for human rights, and they pay the price with their lives. And Bloomberg was interviewed on PBS, Public Broadcast System, I think is what it's called, the PBS stands for. And he was interviewed by a woman reporter, which I don't recall the name because I tried to find it out on the video that came out in John Miller from Prager University, who was interviewing this Michael Bloomberg. And Michael Bloomberg was praising, believe it or not, praising the system of the Chinese, which has opened to free market, or in other words, capitalism, but with communist or brutal oppression. In one part of the video, they show this guy who complained about the police in China, it was something real small. I mean, something that wasn't really a big deal, and they had him tied down to a chair with like iron, some kind of iron on his wrist, and it seemed like he was tied down real exaggerated on a chair. Looked like some kind of electric chair, like he was going to be executed. Kind of, horrible to see what the kind of situation is. Just because the guy was complaining about the police for some minor thing, I don't know what it was. Right now I can't recall, but John Miller in the video explains it. I recommend that you go watch it. Because if I say it, nobody's going to believe me. Who am I? They're going to say, who the hell is this guy? But go watch the video, because John Miller presents it in his video. Being interviewed, Michael Bloomberg and the guy who's on the chair being treated like like he was going to turn into a werewolf or something, just for complaining, just for a complaint. That happens in Cuba, in all the communist system. God forbid it would happen to you and to us, one of us Americans in North Korea. Well, okay, let's put it this way. Let's say if the plans that the Democrat Party, let me put it this other way, the Democrat Party if the plan is to impose communism upon us, and let's say Bernie Sanders and AOC won. Both of them became partners. You can imagine the nightmare that we would suffer. It would be a total nightmare to the level, maybe even worse, or just the same as North Korea. Because if you hear Bernie Sanders talking, and AOC, and the people they support, like Ilhan Omar and Tlaib and the Muslim Brotherhood and the Nation of Islam and Antifa, you can imagine these people are evil. They are pure evil. They will impose upon the American people, listen to me, about this nation, a nightmare, freaking nightmare. And if you don't believe me, just watch videos about what happened in Cuba, what happened in Venezuela. And they all started off with, we're socialism. Oh, socialism. It sounds social. They don't tell you it's communism. When they got into power, then they started spilling out, I'm a communist. Because they want eternal power. They don't want elections. They eliminate. That's what they do. And here, the Democrat Party is planning to do the same thing. Eliminate the Constitution. They've already been talking about, oh, it's old and it's over 500 years old, and we got to get rid of that system. Well, 500 years old, no, it's about the Constitution 300 years old. Well, I know they've been how you call it, ridiculing the Constitution, and they want to eliminate it. They've said it. They want to try it. They want to try to eliminate the Electoral College. They want to do away with all the rights that you have, which the communists or Democrats, let me put it that way, which is the same, they take advantage of it. They have a happy life under the system. They have a good job, making good money. But no, they want to prohibit that to you. They want to stop you from living a life of happiness. They want you to stop the pursuit of happiness for you. They're promising a whole bunch of things, which is a whole bunch of lies, because once the money runs out, everything is expropriated like they always do, and the money runs out. That's it. What you're going to eat, because they're not going to be able to produce. Their companies are going to leave or going to flee the country because they know what's going to happen. And those who can't do it, like persons that live on a pension like me, or many of us, there are many of us who can't afford to leave the country because they don't have, where are they going to go? They're going to be how you call it, a bum or dweller or something, a pauper in another country, a beggar, a hobo, trying to live and see if somebody can help them out and see if they can produce a job or something or create something out of nothing. You know, I'm telling you, you better be wise, wake up, and see what's happening. You know, the reporter who was interviewing this lady who was interviewing Michael Bloomberg couldn't believe what was coming out of this guy's mouth, and she told him, "What? You're talking about that China's it's a democracy, and it's a dictatorship and a tyranny. There's oppression there. There's no right, no civil rights there. It's an oppressed system of state. It's a state without no rights. You have no rights whatsoever for nothing. Well, now at least they let you produce. But besides that, you can't complain for nothing. God forbid you say something there, forget about it. And in North Korea, like I said before in these videos that I'm putting out, you know, if you complain one complaint in North Korea, they will send you to a concentration camp with your whole family until the third generation. And believe me, from what I've seen and what I've read about the concentration camps there, it's most likely that nobody in that first generation will survive. So that, you know, that's it. Once they grab you and they put you there, they're trying to tell you it's over for you. Your life is done. That's it. Might as well commit suicide. Because to live under that situation is like a Nazi concentration camp. And then they have the nerve to call us fascists. That we are fascists. And they're the one who attack us. Beat some of the people that I've seen brutally, almost to the point of death. And in some places, shoot people to death. There's people that say, oh, wait a minute, these guys supported Trump. And I've read the situation where they go and shoot the person. So, you know, they're the one who's the fascist. That's the one who are willing to violate our rights, and they're starting off already with that. Long time ago, not now. And then they're imposing laws we're trying to restrict. Donald Trump is trying to develop and help the nation to grow and live in prosperity and safety. And they're trying to destroy it by doing whatsoever to stop what Trump is doing for us. So I don't know. Are you willing to give up your rights? You know, we're going to come to a point where we're going to have an option of three political parties. The communists, the Democrat Party, which is now the Communist Party, is no more Democrat Party, or Democrat Party, you know, just to how you call cover it up, masquerade, disguise. Okay, your Democrat Party. Really, there are the Communist Party, and then it's going to be the Republican Party, which is the moderate, and the how you call it, maybe the Tea Party, which are the true strong conservative, who have conservative views, who the communists call extremists and racist. Well, they're calling the Republicans racist. So you know, now they will say Nazi party. Well, that's a different story. And let me tell you what. Listen to this one. The socialists were the same as the National Socialist Party, German party. The National Socialist Party from Germany, or in other words, the German National Socialist Party. Socialists. So they declare themselves socialists or supporting socialism, but to the extreme left, and National Socialism to the extreme right. Both of them are extremely fatal with any system. Look what happened in Germany. They wanted to take away, they wanted to expropriate and take away the property of anybody who wasn't German. They would persecute the opposition. Anybody who had an opposition against Hitler would go to a concentration camp, and in many cases would die there, or they would be executed there, or they would be executed by order of Hitler and the higher hierarchy of the German elite. And that's what's going to happen here. God forbid, these people were the Democrats. They're just as fatal. They're just as dangerous. They're just as criminal. They're just as terroristic as the National Socialists. Remember, they had the name socialist. They would expropriate, like they did in Venezuela. They did in Cuba. They did in all communist systems. They expropriate. Maduro would go out to the street with followers of his. No, I mean Hugo Chavez, with followers of his, and people who would follow his orders. And he would say, "I want this building expropriated. I want that building. What that building is." They would say, "So and so building. I want that expropriated." He would say it in the video. He did that. I saw that with my own eyes. And American people who can't understand Spanish and don't know, you know, should have these videos translated into English, so they can understand what the guy was saying. He did it right there, right outright. It happened in Cuba, the same thing. All property were expropriated. And you know who enriched themselves? The communists. And not all of them. Only those, the closest or the favorite of Fidel Castro. When that happened. Now it's Canel Diaz, or Diaz Canel, excuse me. So wake up, read, watch these videos. There's a lot of videos to educate you. You know, there's no excuse for people who are interviewing college students out right there on the street or right there in the college campus I've seen these conservative reporter interviewing kids, practically kids who shouldn't even be allowed to vote. Because what the hell a person who's 17 or 18 or let's say 19 years old can know about politics? It should be like it used to be. The age is 21 or over 21 to be able to vote, qualify to vote. And still, it's not enough. Because you got old people just as ignorant and dumb. And you see them interviewing them, and they asking them questions about who freed the slaves, or also any questions, very simple questions. Who was the first president of the United States? And they come up with the first president of the United States, and they come up with these answers of people who I don't know where the hell they get the college degree or what they're doing in college. There should be plumbers or maybe how you call it, electrician or a mechanic, because they don't know nothing. I don't know what the hell they're teaching in the college. You know, they practically don't know nothing. You ask them very simple questions of history, and if we don't study history, it can be repeated. What happened during the Second World War can be repeated. What happened during the First World War can be repeated. What happened to the American Civil War can be repeated again. You know, it's going to happen. Hope not, but it can happen, or it's going to happen again, because we are not listening, and we're not reading, we're not educating ourselves like I did, because I used to be a Democrat. And I said, wait a minute, wait a minute. You know, there wasn't technology like now. We got computers, we got a whole bunch of means of information. So, you know, at least I'm excused. But I started studying and reading, checking out, navigating the computer, and seeing what was happening. Like in Cuba, I thought it was a paradise there, because they said, oh, they had this free and all that. And so, oh, wow. But then, you know, even though I've read about communism, you know, I should have known better, but since I didn't know, because there wasn't the materials, there wasn't the advantages that we have nowadays. You know, nowadays there's no excuse. That's why the Democrat part, that's why Obama wanted to pass the control of the internet through the United Nations, that they would be under control of the United Nations. That's Barack Hussein Obama, the Muslim communist. Thank God we at least we had the advantage, and at least we were saved, and at least Trump was able to be the president. You know, I was surprised. I said, wait a minute, they're probably going to steal the elections. They're probably not going to let him be a president. They're going to probably come up with some numbers and say, no, we won by this and that, or eliminate electoral college then and say, no, we're the one who won. I don't know how the hell. We were lucky. We were lucky. And the luck is not going to last too long, because Trump had the system infiltrated with so many terroristic organizations like Hamas, and with a whole bunch of Muslims coming in here from Somalia, who knows, other hell, Iraq and other places. He wouldn't send in the Christians, who were the one being killed and persecuted. He would send in the worst, the Muslims, his kind, who were massacring people. Maybe you want to close your eyes, maybe you don't want to see. I'm talking about the liberals. And sometimes even conservatives. You know, they have their eyes closed, and they don't want to see the truth. A lot of people. Well, they don't want to read it, they don't care. Until it happens to them. There were a whole bunch of massacres. Every time they went up to Obama and said, hey, what do you think about this and that? No, that's not Islam. Islam is a religion of peace, and they're killing us. They're killing cops. They were killing cops. They were killing people on the streets. They were killing people in the army base of Killeen, Texas. My son was there one time. Thank God, I always pray for him. And it can happen, because these terrorist cells are trying to cross our borders just as simply with the purpose of invading us and conquering us. They said it. We got them here. They've been gone to prison. They're released, including MS-13, I think it is, from I don't know if it's Guatemala. But they got terrorist people, drug lords, and people with criminal instinct coming in here. Who knows how many, by the droves. And then the Communist Party, Democrat Communist Party, doesn't want the war for sure, because they want the vote. They want to be in power forever. But once they're in power, then they're going to start with their plans, like in communist China. Then, okay, now then they might build the wall. They might build a wall like that happened when in Berlin, the Berlin Wall. They'll build it because they don't want the people to flee the country. Then they're going to need all the slaves they can to build the country, because they're going to destroy it. They want to enslave us, and they don't want us. They're not going to want us to flee the country, because in that situation, you're going to have a lot of people with education, doctors, professors, university professors, engineers, technicians, of all kinds. They're not gonna want to live here because the talent that they have is not going to be compensated. It's not going to be worth being under a communist country. Because a person with a lot of talent is not going to be happy with receiving a miserable pay of maybe $10 or less. In the case of professional, of less than $30, no more than that. The only people that receive over $100 is the people that are going to oppress the police state. In Cuba, they receive over $100. We're talking about in American money. We're going to compare, because over there, if it's in Cook, what they call Cook, it might be a lot more than what it's going to sound like a lot, but believe me, if you compare, if you exchange it for the American money, it's going to be like $100 and something, which is a lot for them. And they're doing that because those are the people who maintain the system, the oppressors, the police state. Those are the people. The national police are the ones who are going to oppress the people and put them in place in order, and brutally beat them and brutally imprison them. Like they've done that with Jose Daniel Ferrer Garcia from Paco, who was not liberated. They separated him from his wife. He was kidnapped and is being tortured. And they're coming up with lies. They always do that. In all these systems, they come up with lies. In North Korea, they do the same thing. In China, they do the same thing. They'll do a trump up charges in order to execute you. It depends on the severity of your case, because if they catch you speaking to the people and denouncing the government, forget about it. They'll trump up a charge against you for rape or something against the state or something. They'll come up with some lie. They did that in the ex-Soviet Union. They will come up with lies and make you disappear and send you to the gulags. Excuse me. Then you do the gulags. And there, you forget about it. Almost all the people that went there, none of them survived. They would come back. They wouldn't come back, period. Families would miss their parents and the mothers, and they would disappear forever and die because in the conditions of the weather conditions, over there is forget about it. It's criminal. It's forget about it. You're gonna freeze to death in the conditions. So I'm imploring to the American people, wake up. See what's really happening. I'm sure you don't want to see Christmas gone forever, the holidays gone forever, Thanksgiving gone forever, Passover gone forever, the church is gone forever, the bank's gone forever, everything you own gone forever. I don't think you want to see that. And if you do, well, you're insane. There's there's a problem with you. If you're willing to lose all that, then you need to see you're in dire need of a psychiatrist. So God help us. That'll be all for today. God bless you. God bless all my friends, all my followers. God bless America. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.